Hey squids, I am back on the TMAX. I finally got my clutch plates in, and I have not done a clutch in a very long time. And I have been looking at videos from 50cc Scoot on YouTube, and he's got a very intricate clutch removal for the Yamaha TMAX 500 like this. So this uses a wet clutch like a motorcycle. So this is the old filter I pulled out from here. This is the new filter. I bought like 3 sets or 3 filters for the bike. It was like $14, so it's not very expensive, and it goes right in here. I admire bikes that are easy to work on. You know, I love bikes that are just simple. This is not a simple bike, very sought after. It's got a lot of pep. The time that I did ride it that was working, the initial ride, it was great. It had like plenty of power. It felt great. It feels like a sport scooter. Oh man, just having to do all of this for, you know, a slippage of the clutch. It just, yeah. I definitely feel on this bike that I got a little bit of a lemon, because it was working, then all of a sudden the fuel pump stops working. And then, you know, I take it for a ride, it's riding fine, and then all of a sudden it stops riding fine. And then I changed the belt, the drive belt, and I thought, okay, that's it, nothing. And so it's been a nightmare. This is the last thing. I believe this is going to fix this. So we're going to get started. We're going to pull this thing out. But before that, oil, I changed the oil. So the oil is brand new. So I'm going to put it into a clean container, because I do not want to spend $57 on an oil change again. So let's get started. Super clean oil, beautiful. Right here is the water pump. We're gonna have to remove that, pull off these hoses, because this metal bit needs to come out. There we go. Oh man, that was gunk. Another hose back here. Same thing. The hose is stuck on there. I don't know if this is going to start pouring liquid, and it is, but man, the liquid is just super gunky. There are 10s. It is all crusty. So I needed to drain the coolant anyway. So I might as well just remove this. Hey, oh my God, it's so dirty. This is not even coolant anymore. Coolant is just so dirty. Disgusting. We're removing this one. I believe this is a 5 millimeter here. So that's the water pump, and it's pretty loose already. Everything, like this bike, everything is rusted out. Like these bolts are rusted. There we go. So this is the water pump, and that's what gets the fluid to flow, or the coolant to flow. It's got rust on it. The great, nice tools is the key. If you don't have nice tools, buy yourself a nice set. Because if you get into the motorcycling game, you're gonna do a lot of this. There's no point of taking a bike to the shop, because people just, even if it takes like an hour to do something, they'll charge you like the 4 hours or whatever it costs. BMW dealerships around here cost, I think, it's $80-something per hour. As a motorcycle rider, you're just better off like learning to do this. That's the perimeter here. Now we just have to remove these. They're all the same size. Now it's like at the water pump right over here. There's 2 8 millimeters. And one, and here's the other one. This is going to loosen it up a bit. It seems like it is loosening up, because every time I hit it, there's oil coming down. So now the one thing I don't want to do is destroy the gasket. There we go, right in here. And it looks pretty darn clean. The gasket is in good shape. I didn't destroy it. And this is what we want. There's a number on here. And it looks like this was removed because there's a registration mark on it. So 8070418. Oh, interesting. So impact wrench works really well for this. I'm going to put, I guess, a registration mark or something. And I'm going to do it on the shaft of this. I'm going to put a mark, and then I'm going to put a mark here to align everything right. Be smooth. There we go. It's kind of heavy. And that's the clutch basket right in front of you. And here, oh, here we go. Here's that washer. And I'm just going to put it right back. This is the clutch plates that I bought. So, you know, I don't know if these are going to be good. Things first, I'm going to grab the clutch and all the plates, and I'm just going to dunk it in the oil. This submerged, and I'm just going to leave it there. There is this plate, there's this thing here holding everything together, so you can't really remove anything unless you remove this clip. It's a retaining clip. It's some flat screwdrivers, and I'm just gonna, it'll be difficult to see. You're just kind of pushing this little clip out, and on one side only. See if you can kind of just pry it. I'm just going to work my way around. There we go. Now I'm just holding on to with my hand here, and that should be it. Now push down on this, and there's that clip. So let's put that aside. Now this is a tip that I got from 50cc Scoot. As you're removing stuff, put it all in order, because it's going to be easier to put everything back together the way you found it. But it's going to like start taking this. This is what I should have done, but it came out like this, but that's okay. So now I'm just going to take this. This is that top, and I'm going to put it here. And then I'm going to take this. There's some discoloration. Put it here. So I'm kind of just lining things up as I need to remove it. Here's another plate. Put this here because this one's got a plate. And there's another plate inside. Actually, there's one of these clips, and now there's another one inside. And then we're going to look at this. The clutch is pretty burned. I mean, all the metal is dark. There's streaks everywhere. So I did put everything in order, starting with the retaining clip, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way this way, and with the basket. And here is the new clutch components. They're all in oil, so I dunked this in the oil. Every single thing on here looks like it's completely burnt out. This is my first plate, the one with the springs, and I'm like looking at it. Everything in order, back into the clutch basket. If we can do this, here we go. And now the springs, fit them all in there. People also replace the springs. I'm not going to do that. Strange to put. Okay, that goes in perfectly. And now we have this and these two washers. So this one we're going to have to remove, put it aside here, and then this plate. Let's see if I can. There we go. First plate we're going to be replacing. Just look how dark that is. So this one's different. It's one side is smooth, and then this side, it's got the little pads. Here we go. So this is the new one, and this is the old one. So I'm just going to compare it. There we go. Okay. And that's it. Okay. So we have our first in there. The next one we're going to replace, and I have the new one. The springs are kind of getting in the way, but as you can see, it goes right in. Next one is a clip. Put this right in here. Just kind of do this, make sure it's the exact same size, and let's take this to the clutch. Next step up is another one of these clips. Okay. This one is the first steel plate. There is a direction to this. This top part is beveled. So now let's put it into the clutch side. We're just going to slide this right onto the clutch. Okay, so that's that one. Next step is this, the little spring. It's like a retainer or some sort of thing. I'm going to get to this plate right in here. There we go. Just drop it in. Our clip, the clip in. Up is this clutch. This one actually looks pretty good. Clutch plate that looks decent, but we have a brand new one, so might as well. And now we're going to move on to the other one. Smooth on one side, and it's got the little friction plates on this side. This one right on here. And now we have our clip, and now this gets sandwiched with this. Just make sure you clean it all up. I believe this goes right into the springs like that. Next up is this round, and the part that's rounded up, faces up, is this one. And this one is a little interesting, and it's got a round hole, and I did not indicate where it belongs on the clutch plate. I think it's there for balancing, and the smooth part is up. And this, I guess it's the compression plate. Okay, next step is putting the clip. The clip, but it's harder than I thought. Then one of the tips that I got from 50cc Scoot is use something to kind of push down this plate. And I think we're there. The clip is in there. Right, it is time to, I guess, put it back, and hopefully it's going to work. And I'm going to line it up right now. And also, we have the big washer. It's in there. And we're going to now just kind of fit it in. This took me a while to figure it out, but you have to kind of like wiggle it like this and then push it in. So I got my mark on the spline correct, and now I'm going to put my washer. Then we're just going to torque this down. Finish putting this on. Last thing I'm going to do is just put the filter on here. One thing I am going to test out is how the clutch is behaving to see if it's slipping. And I'm also going to be looking out to see if there's going to be any oil leaking from the gasket. I did not replace the gasket on here because I did not rip it or anything, but you never know. So I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on this. So time to find out if that did it, if I put the clutch in right. So let's go for a little ride on it. I just got back from the initial ride, and of course it's overheating. If I turn it on, the fan is still on. It's moving down, and I didn't run it for very long at all. So of course this bike is a pain in the ass to maintain. If you want to get to the radiator, you have to remove more plastic. So let's see if I can remove this, and hopefully all it takes is bleeding this. I have the cap off, and I have filled it to the top, and I still have some more I can put in. The bike has been sitting for a little bit, but to bleed a system, see now it's coming from the top, so I like to get it nice and full. And now we're going to run the bike, and the way you bleed a system is that you remove the radiator cap, you start the bike, let it run, and what is going to happen is the bike will start heating up, and any air bubbles that are inside the system will start coming out. If you look up here, you should be able to see air bubbles popping out. Just let it run. It's in the coolest position on the engine temp. This is what you want to look for. Keep your eye here and fill it. If it goes down, fill it up. And we want to fill this to the brim. Let me look at the temp. The temperature is in the middle. Okay, the bike is finally idling. It's running. It's not heating up. It's not even going to the middle of the temperature gauge, which is fascinating. So after letting it run for a few minutes, it doesn't heat up. It doesn't go to the highest position at all. And it takes much longer to even get to the middle part. So the bike seems to be running pretty cool. I'm going to put all the plastics back together. Whew. The TMAX is all buttoned up, and I'm going to take it for a short ride. I'm going to see if it's heating up again. Keep a close eye on the engine temperature, but I think it should be good. Let's go for a little ride.